Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Trev and Lev show here on YouTube.com. I'm Trev. That's Lev. And yeah, this is college football talk. We got college football talk, SEC standings review, and playoff projection. Let's get into it. We're about in the middle of November here. So yeah, season's coming to a close. Huge week of games in the SEC. Lots of crazy ones this week. Texas A&M at home beat South Carolina 31-30. Shut him out in the second half. Obviously, it was not looking too good in the first half of this one. Marcel Reed probably played the worst game as quarterback of his career in the first half there. Uh, right, both his interceptions came in the first half. He was missing a lot of throws in the first half as well. I don't know your thoughts on this one. South Carolina almost spoiled another team's season.
This is a tale of two halves. Um, uh, if you've ever seen that GIF, pretty popular GIF of the guy after the high school football game, and he's talking to the reporter, and he said they had us in the first half. Not gonna lie,
Yeah,
that's probably what these A&M players were saying
yeah,
after this game. But um, A&M pulls it out. I think I heard something. I think I might have heard in a press conference with A&M's coach talking about how SEC teams were like had never won by being down in the first half by the amount of points they were down, and they were the first team to ever come back from that much of a
yeah. I think it was like
deficit, I think.
256 or something like
Yeah,
that. Like
some
0 wins,
crazy.
256 losses. Yeah.
This is one of the craziest choke jobs from a
Yeah.
program I've ever seen. It's pretty embarrassing. Um, I also think it's funny. I don't know if you
Embarrassing
saw
for
that.
South Carolina.
Yeah, pretty embarrassing for South
It
Carolina.
it is still embarrassing for A&M, but at least they won.
Yeah, but I don't know if you saw that clip of Beamer walking to the locker room with his arms up, hyping
No.
up the like going like
Oh my.
this, and then in the post game interview, he's talking about no, we weren't celebrating the locker room in the half. And it's like I saw the comments in the video like we literally saw you like
He, he
celebrating
is
on your
such a
way to the.
clown.
So
He
it's
is such a
just
clown, man.
it's a little goofy there from South Carolina. But
Does
just
this
the
change your does this change your rating on Texas A&M at all?
I don't know. It's so I think they just had a bad game. I will say I don't think I don't know. I don't think they're going to win the national championship.
Yeah. Okay, so like maybe it
I
changes
honest
doesn't change your like SEC rating for them, but maybe it changes your national rating as
here's
far as like
this isn't it.
championship contenders or
This is
like
it.
they're still a contender, but maybe it cuts you out of the teams that you think are gonna win it.
Here's an interesting thing I'll say. I think teams like I think A&M might be a better team than teams like Georgia and Bama and Oklahoma, three teams that are also competing for the playoffs right now, and Ole
Yeah.
Miss. Um, but I honestly think all those teams might be more likely to win the championship because they've been more battle tested.
So out of all the teams you just listed, who's peaking right now?
Georgia.
Georgia
I think
and
Georgia's honestly the most likely.
Georgia's peaking right now. And who else did you say? Oh,
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma. Oklahoma's also peaking right now as
Ole
well.
Miss is just kind of they've been the same the whole season pretty
Yeah,
much.
they've been the same.
Um,
But A&M and Bama are going
Also,
a little bit
Georgia's
better.
played the toughest schedule out of all those teams. I think maybe Oklahoma, but Georgia's played the toughest schedule out of all those teams, and also has the best record out of all those teams. Too, they only have a loss to Bama right now.
They're
Um,
next, right?
hmm.
Yeah, I mean, so they're playing lights out right now.
Yeah, and I just think Georgia. Honestly, I don't necessarily think in my standings I would have them at number one in the SEC. I think right now I'd make. We'll get to it in a later video, but Um, they might not be my number one team in the SEC, but in all honesty, if I was betting money, I would bet on them to be the most likely SEC team to win a national championship because of multiple reasons. One, I think they're peaking at the right time, And two, I just think they have the best coaching staff in the SEC. I don't necessarily think they have the best roster in the SEC, but I think having a good coaching staff and having Kirby Smart as your head coach goes a long way. He's also the only coach currently coaching the SEC that's won a national championship, I think, as a head coach.
Yeah, yeah,
So I just think
yeah,
Georgia, I would be more confident in Georgia winning it all than any other SEC team, personally.
yeah. I think I would agree with that actually. Yeah.
But I think A&M is
So
still a good team, though, and they're locked for the playoffs and the
yeah,
SEC
they're locked.
championship. But with that, we can get into the next game, unless you have something else
Yeah,
to
we got.
say.
No, I'm good. Yeah. What is it? Alabama, Oklahoma up here. um. So I heard a lot of people say basically Oklahoma got lucky, and if you go to the team stats here, they have a valid argument. Alabama outgained Oklahoma. You know, they doubled up Oklahoma in yards, and I think they just had. Let's see, yeah, 3 turnovers. So
Oklahoma did the
obviously,
same thing
like
they did to Tennessee. It's pretty. It's
really poor offensive performance, and it's just turnovers and defensive play that wins it for them. And but that's like you said, that's how they've been all year though. Like Tennessee, Alabama, that's how they played all year. So I don't know if they win out, they're in the playoff though.
and I think they will. I don't see them losing to
Yeah.
Missouri and LSU at home. They play both of them at
No.
home,
Yeah.
and I know
There's almost no way.
their offense is not great, but they're playing against a team with a really bad offense and a team that doesn't have their quarterback at home. And
Missouri,
I think,
Missouri, and LSU. Yeah.
I think Oklahoma is the best defense in the SEC,
Mhm. Yeah. I think they
without a
proved that
doubt.
to you. I think they proved that to everyone the past several weeks.
Oklahoma,
I think they're kind of peaking a little bit.
if Oklahoma had, there are about, there are so many teams that if Oklahoma, like maybe there might be like 25 teams, maybe even more than that. That if Oklahoma
They have a better
switched,
offense than
well,
Oklahoma. I guess
if Oklahoma switched offenses with them, they might would be the best team in the country.
they might have one of the worst offenses in the whole SEC.
But do you agree with that? I think if they switched offenses with, like, probably there might be 20 teams that if they switched offenses
Yeah.
with, they'd be maybe the
Yeah.
number one team, if not
I think if
really
you had
close to the top.
I think if you had like USF's offense, you would be one of the best teams. You would be top 5 best team in the country.
If you had any of the other top SEC teams' offenses, probably you'd be
Yeah, I'm trying to think who's worse at who's worse offensively than Oklahoma because it's an interesting conversation. In
maybe
the SEC, who's
LSU, maybe Florida.
uh, uh mm,
No, probably.
I think Florida's better.
Um,
Florida's better. Yeah, so it's probably Kentucky's better.
what about Mississippi State?
Their offense is better. I think I would say like Oklahoma and LSU have the worst 2 offenses in the league. Auburn,
Yeah,
I know they just I know they
Auburn. I
scored.
think Auburn might be the worst,
Auburn's the worst offense in the league.
but they were the worst.
Uh,
I think they've gotten a little better since they
they
fired
have gotten
Q,
better.
which
Yeah, it's probably like Auburn, Oklahoma, LSU. Pick your poison. Who's the worst? I
I'm
guess.
excited to watch the Iron Bowl this year. I actually think it might be a good game.
Is it at?
It's at Auburn. Yeah.
So, whoa. So if Alabama loses that one, they're out of the playoff
They
probably,
should be. They should be. I
and they won't be in the SEC championship game. We'll take a look at that at the end of at the end of the video here, going over SEC standings and playoff projection. You want to move on to Georgia
Yeah,
real quick
let's go ahead.
before we get too caught in that?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm just gonna let you lead this one.
Yeah, so Georgia really having a very complete game, probably their most complete game of the season. Um, I think an interesting thing that happened in this game was Georgia was up by like a touchdown, or they were up by 2 scores maybe, and they onside kicked the ball and got it.
I did see that.
Um,
Crazy.
That's just
Absolutely crazy.
that just shows you Kirby Smart. I don't like him at all. He is one of my least favorite coaches because he is a great coach and he's coaching one of my least favorite teams. But you gotta give it to him. He knows how to win, and he doesn't play. He plays to win, and he's not scared of losing because he
Yeah,
doesn't think he's gonna lose.
yeah.
Like he feels like he's invincible. I think he's like I'm. He does. I feel like he's at the point to where he's just out coaching everybody he's going up against, even if they have a better roster, other than Alabama. Alabama's the one team that gives him issues for whatever reason,
Yeah.
but everybody else, for the most part, he's out coaching them, and
And he's
it's
dominated. They've dominated Texas the past couple seasons. I think they've played him 3 times in the
yeah,
past 2 seasons. They have,
and they're three
and
and
they
zero.
beat him all 3 times. They beat him in the SEC championship last year. Yeah, they've had Texas's number, and don't let Georgia get hot. Don't let Georgia get hot because this is the exact this is this is how Georgia becomes a national title contender.
And
Is
Georgia
games like this.
they have a sneaky good offense. Their defense isn't what it used to be. This is probably one of the worst defenses in the Kirby Smart era,
But the
but
past two
say
weeks
but
they put
say
it together
well,
though.
I'm
They've
saying
put it together the past 2 weeks.
well, even that though, like saying one of the worst defenses in the Kirby Smart era is like saying it's like it doesn't mean much because they've had some of the best defenses of all time
Yeah.
in his time at
It's
Georgia.
it's still top half of the defense in the SEC.
Yeah, it's still a very good defense, but it's not what it used to be. But it doesn't matter because they're a complete team, and honestly, I think that helps them a lot here going into the season, being a complete team and not just a defense. Because a
And
team
they
like
were just yeah,
Oklahoma that is very one-sided is going to probably get knocked out at some point. Is not going
yeah,
to make it far in the
very early.
playoffs.
Very
I
early.
think
Like
they're
if
going to
they don't
get
have yeah.
I think they're going to get into playoffs, but they're not going to make it far. Georgia's a team that could make it all the way or to the Final Four pretty easily because they're a pretty well-rounded team, and they're a team that's been battle tested. They've played a lot of good teams, and they've come out on top against every good team they've played except for Alabama. Um,
They've been able to win close games, and they've been able to like, and then now they're just blowing teams out the past 2 weeks. And this is a very good Texas defense. I don't think we really mentioned that, but this is an impressive offensive performance. Obviously, exploded for 21 points in the fourth quarter. But yeah, they were waiting on their defense to figure it out. Now their defense has figured it out, and this team has just become really, really scary.
and Texas should be out of the playoffs now, right? You think?
Yeah,
And they're going to lose to A&M
they-
anyway,
they're gonna
so
lose to A&M anyways. Yeah, but they're out. They're. I don't think they have a case.
no, they're just their offense is not good enough. They only have one good win on the year. They have a
We
really
forgot about
bad
Texas offense being bad, but yeah,
they have one good win on the year, and it was against an injured Oklahoma quarterback.
yeah,
Um, they have a really bad loss against Florida. They've just the only thing that's going for them is people are like, oh, they barely lost to Ohio State, and it's like we
yeah,
don't we don't know how good Ohio State is because they haven't played anyone other than Texas, and Texas
yeah.
is a middle of the road, slightly above middle of the road SEC team. In all honesty,
I think Texas would have a chance if Oklahoma would have lost on Saturday, but I don't think that they have a chance anymore because. But yeah, we'll get into that at the end of the video.
yeah,
Next game up here, Ole Miss, Florida. So I think the biggest part of this game for me was just the idea of Lane Kiffin in Florida. Like I mean, you saw the stuff with it, right?
yeah.
He made like Lane Kiffin. He made like Kiffin for 2026. Hey, did you see those hats he made? They're like custom hats.
Did
Hey, it
not.
basically was trolling Florida this entire game. Like everyone was trolling Florida this entire game just because of the idea that Kiffin is Florida's #1 candidate, and we
Yeah.
could actually see him there next year. But that was kind of the biggest storyline for me. I don't know why this game was so close, honestly.
Well, I mean, last year, Ole Miss's season got spoiled by Florida. I don't know if you
Yeah,
remember that. It was
yeah,
actually why Tennessee got into the playoffs. Tennessee would have been knocked out if Florida hadn't beat Ole Miss. Um, but So yeah, I think that maybe played a part in it. I don't know. I think one big thing is after Kentucky manhandled Florida, a lot of people were like, "This Florida team's giving up. They're checking out." I think a lot of that got back to the Florida locker room, and I'm sure their interim coach made a standpoint to be like, "Hey, your pride is at check here. Everyone's saying
Yeah.
y'all are checking out. You're giving up. Um, we're going on the road to play one of the best teams in the country here. We beat them last year. Why can't we do that again?" Um, so I think their pride was in check. Ole Miss, I think Lane Kiffin. This is just Lane Kiffin does this every once in a while. Is in spots where it matters a lot, he
Yeah,
kind
they
of
just
plays it close and kind of chokes games. So he got out of this one with a win, but I don't know. It's not the most just shocking um, outcome. I
no,
mean,
and I mean,
they
you
still won by
you
10
you won the
points.
game. Yeah, you won the game, so it's all right. But it also kind of like what I mentioned in Thursday's video about the preview Tennessee and Florida. Lagway just kind of had a really bad game against Kentucky, where he puts you out of it, throws the 3 interceptions. This week he plays a little bit better. I mean, kind of just seems to me like Ole Miss kind of held the ball in the second half. Shut out Florida in the first half or in the second half here. 37 minutes of possession time to 22 for Florida, and then they outgained them by 200 yards. So yeah, I mean, like, seems like just a second half domination where they kind of come out and shut them down. I know that Kyron Lacey, I really like Ole Miss's running back, had his career day. He's really, really good. And if Chambliss, can be good for them, I think they have a chance to win a couple games in the playoffs. I would definitely count them for at least one
Yeah,
win
I agree.
for sure. But yeah, moving on here, we got LSU and Arkansas. So fun thing about this game is Arkansas is 2-8 now on the season.
But look
Their
at,
point differential.
yeah, I think the
What?
most
Sorry.
they've lost by is 6 points, right?
Yep. Their total point differential for the season is 18 points. They've lost 8 games by a combined total of 18 points. How unlucky can you be? We see this like once a season where a team will be like that, and it just happened to be Arkansas this year. So
Yeah.
very much sucks for them,
Yep.
but it is pretty funny.
Yeah, and this was just a battle of the goobers here between
Yeah,
these two schools. Um,
rivalry
Ar-
game.
Arkansas cannot find a way to win an SEC game this year, and they've been close in so many. Um, and I mean, it kind of goes without saying. Thankfully for Arkansas fans, but what's his face is not getting the job.
Petrino.
Petrina is not getting the job.
Petrino is not getting the job.
He had so many chances to win so many games after he took over, but could not get it done. Um, and
The
just
ultimate choke team this season.
neither of these teams are good. Um,
Nope.
they're probably pretty close to the bottom of the SEC. Well, Arkansas is at the bottom of the SEC, but
Power
yeah,
ranking video. Check it out. Wednesday upload. I think maybe.
just kind of a sloppy game from both teams. One thing that's interesting looking at the uh, the quarters and like the points scored in each quarter, only one team scored in each quarter.
Yeah, that's funny.
Looking at that, 14
You
points
don't
from
really see
Arkansas
that.
in the first quarter,
Yeah,
16 points from LSU in the second quarter, 8 points from Arkansas in the third, and 7 points from LSU in the fourth. So just
a game
a
of
really,
runs.
really
A
goofy
game of
game,
runs.
it feels like.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Hopefully,
Moving
I
on
feel
here.
bad for Taylor Green
Yeah, I
being
did
on
too,
such
but he
just a
did not have
bad
a good
team.
game.
No, but
He did.
I think he's a good quarterback on a really bad team. Um,
I agree.
so feel bad
Yeah.
for him, but
Missouri, Mississippi State. I didn't want to look at this one.
yeah,
Don't know anything about this one actually. How did Missouri score 49 points with no quarterback? He was 8 for 15.
112 yards. How many They had two interceptions though. So
Okay, yeah, Shapen is the worst. So yeah, that makes sense.
So maybe
Yeah,
just
well,
maybe
their
the
running back is really, really good though.
oh
I
yeah,
know, I know he had a big.
300 yards. Yeah.
Yeah, not even just like this game, like in general, he is actually really good. He's been one of the best backs in the country this year. So
Yeah.
yeah, they finally, I guess, I think they must have finally adjusted to the fact that hey, their quarterback sucks. So let's not throw the ball. Surprised it took Drinkowitz this long to figure that out. But hey, good for Missouri though, man. I mean, 7-3 on the season, down two quarterbacks. I mean, they're making the most of it.
Yeah, and they have a chance to go 9-3. I don't think they will. I
They
think they're
good.
gonna. I think they'll lose to Oklahoma and probably go 8-4. But uh, they've got. I don't know. Let's look at their schedule actually. See, because I know they got Oklahoma.
They are Arkansas, right?
Yeah.
No.
So yeah, Oklahoma, Arkansas. So 9-3, 8-4 looks like pretty safe bet for them um,
Yeah,
here.
good for them,
Leaning
man.
more towards 8-4, but yeah, decent
Yeah.
season. Kind of disappointing for them. But
Yeah, I think injuries. I actually think that they are better than I originally thought. Going into the season, I was not very high on them. So yeah, I mean, good for them, man. I mean, hard to come back from two injured quarterbacks and still, I think that this is the first one they've had. I think though since their quarterback got injured. But
yeah,
yeah, all right. What do we got up here next? I think that was the end of the slate
yep.
standings. Okay, so this is interesting because obviously Alabama is technically second because they have the tiebreaker between all the one-loss teams. Um, they didn't play Ole Miss. Wait, do
There's
they have the tiebreaker?
they're
I'm trying to
second.
think.
Okay, so they're second in conference standings, but they're not second in overall
Right.
because they beat Georgia. Georgia beat Ole Miss, but they have more losses on the season. So I think when it comes to conference, I think they're still in the SEC championship.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, I think it's A&M, Bama, Georgia, Ole Miss. I think is how it lays out here.
Yeah. And
Um,
then Texas has the edge on Oklahoma right now because they beat them head to head, I guess, in
yeah.
conference. But
Mm-hmm.
playoff wise, Oklahoma.
Yeah. So that's the thing. Like we're looking at it right now. So Vanderbilt. So is there a crazy scenario where the SEC has 6, 10 or 2, 10-2 or better teams when the season finishes, which could be what do you do in that scenario? Do you put all 6 in? You're gonna need help to get all 6 in. I think
No,
one
I
of the
don't. I don't think all six get in. I don't
no,
even
I
know
think
five. I don't even know if five would get in. To be honest, at this point, I think the
you don't think
SEC.
5 get in.
I think the SEC has lost a little bit of credibility on the national stage. I think they deserve the credibility that they had, but I think with the SEC being up on itself so much, I think a lot of people aren't as high on the SEC as
S-
they
Yeah,
used
I
to
mean, so
be.
my issue here is I think the Big Ten basically cemented itself as a three bid league. Um, right? The ACC is going to be a one bid league. Big 12's a one bid league. That's 5 spots filled. You got the Group of 5 school. That's 6, and then you got Notre Dame. That's 7. So that leaves you with 5 spots.
Yeah, I think five is the most the SEC's getting, if that.
I think it's super likely they get 5, just because of the fact that you're going to have
Yeah,
A&M's a lock. A&M's a lock. Georgia's a
yeah.
lock.
It's probably five
Ole
with
Miss is a lock.
the five being
You have
A&M, Georgia, Ole Miss, Bama, Oklahoma,
or
and
Vanderbilt.
I think Vanderbilt, Oklahoma has to lose for Vanderbilt to get in. I just
Okay, Yes, because
there's no world where Vanderbilt gets in over Oklahoma.
no,
And I
and
personally,
there's not enough
yeah.
spots for there to get six SEC teams in.
So
Oklahoma's strength of record is going to be one of the best in the country if they end up being 10-2.
Vanderbilt really needs Oklahoma or Alabama to lose again. Um,
Yeah, and
they really
Oklahoma's
do.
going to be the most likely team to lose because you might as well Sharpie in Ole Miss, Sharpie in Georgia, and A&M. Those three
Here's
teams are a lock
what's
to
gonna
get in.
happen though if Vanderbilt loses to Tennessee and Alabama lost to Auburn. What happens then?
Okay, Alabama's sitting at 9-3. You get Oklahoma in for sure.
So you have four teams in the SEC, and if Oklahoma, Ole Miss, Georgia A&M would be in, but what happens if Bama and Vanderbilt both have three losses?
They probably put it in another Big Ten team, but I don't know if there's going to be one sitting there at 10-2 though. So that's the hard part. You can't put it in another ACC team because that's not. I okay. At that point, in my opinion, they probably put in a second Big 12 team
Yeah,
because yeah, you can't put in Vanderbilt over Alabama because Alabama wins the head to head, right? If they're both nine and
they
three,
honestly might would put Alabama in. I I would
it,
not be
it
surprised.
it would come down to them putting in Alabama or a BYU team that's lost twice and both times were to Texas Tech. Because assuming BYU makes the Big 12 championship game, does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's do you value a two-loss BYU team who lost in the Big 12 championship game, or do you value a 9-3 Alabama team that didn't play in the SEC
I
championship
really
game?
hope that happens because I'd love to see.
I would too, but you got to think though. Last year, what Alabama was also 9-3, and they also got left out.
Yeah, but
I just think I think on a year-to-year basis, it's going to be really, really difficult to put in a three-loss team. I just think if you're
until they
sitting there at
extend
nine
it.
and true, but if you're sitting there at 10-2 and you're in the Big Ten or the SEC, you're getting in the playoff.
Yeah. Unless
I
a
just
lot of teams lose. Unless a lot of teams lose, and then there's not a lot of like a lot more teams have three losses, which technically
true,
could happen.
true,
Technically,
but
it's not going to happen, but it
it's not
could.
going to happen. Not this year, but yeah,
Um,
it could.
but yeah, it's interesting. I think Bama, Ole Miss, and Bama or Ole Miss, Georgia, and A&M. I think looking at their schedule are probably a lock for the playoffs.
Yeah.
Um,
Hmm.
because I think everybody only has two games left, and I think all of those teams have only maybe one tough game left. I don't even know if
If
Ole
even
Miss has
that,
any tough games left. Georgia
probably
has
they
Georgia
play
Tech,
Mississippi
A&M has
State.
Texas.
Ole Miss's last game is Mississippi State.
And do they
So
play a game next week or this week?
no,
Yeah,
their last game is Mississippi State.
so Ole Miss is a lock for the playoffs.
Yeah,
And Georgia and A&M are probably not. I don't know how many games does A&M have left? Two.
two.
Yeah, they're probably not gonna lose both. If
Even if
probably
they
not either.
they're a lock for the playoff. Like those three teams, those top three teams right there are a lock for the playoff.
Yeah, because there's Sanford and Texas. Yeah, A&M's a lock. Georgia is
They play
playing
Georgia Tech
and
and Charlotte.
Charlotte, so they're a lock as well. And Ole Miss is a lock. So those top three teams are a lock for the playoffs. And then you have Alabama and Oklahoma also playing for a playoff spot and could both very likely get that spot. And that's what it looks like if both teams went out is going to happen. Um,
So yeah, real quickly, I thought we could go through what. So obviously, I personally I believe um, Texas A&M, Georgia, Ole Miss, Alabama, and Oklahoma will be in the playoff. That's five teams. I've got Oregon, Indiana, and Ohio State in the playoff as well. That
that's
gets us up
eight.
to eight. I
Notre
would put
Dame.
Georgia Tech in there. Yeah, I would put Notre Dame.
So that's
I think
10.
Georgia Tech probably wins the ACC.
Texas Tech, and
Texas
then
Tech,
you're at
and then
large
your at
G5.
large is literally just
It's anybody
it's
that's at the top of the G5.
and they're gonna get beat by 42 points in the first
Yeah.
playoff. Yeah, it's just a bad situation there. It's
But that
probably between North Texas and James Madison are probably your two teams there. So, do you mind flipping over to the ACC standings real quick?
you know yeah, I can, but it'd be an interesting matchup. JMU versus Indiana. That'd be interesting. Not because it'd be a good game, but it'd
Kurt
just be
Signetti,
he'd be
he would
coaching against his
he would
first
beat them. He would beat them by as much as he possibly could.
probably.
Like he doesn't have any ill will towards them, but he runs up the score anyways. So yeah, so Pittsburgh obviously lost to Notre Dame this past weekend by a lot. That doesn't count towards conference standings though. We're still convinced that Miami's out, right?
Yeah.
Because there's this weird scenario where Miami still makes the playoffs, which I don't think should be possible considering you lost to two
I
unranked teams.
think Miami might get in if Alabama and Vanderbilt both lost. That's a
Okay, yeah.
possibility. I think that's Miami. Their only hope is if that happens. If that does
So
happen,
it's
they
like
probably
between
make it no matter what.
it's between like Miami and BYU to get into the playoff at that point probably. And
Yeah.
they're gonna choose Miami just based on name alone.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, ACC is still wide open. I wouldn't bet any money on the ACC right now.
I mean,
This
so
thing is
right
so
now it's
wide.
Georgia Tech versus Virginia, right?
Yeah, but it's Pittsburgh and SMU are both right there. So yeah, I mean it's one of those four teams. So
It's probably between Georgia Tech and Virginia though, just because
probably.
I don't think any of
But
these teams play each
I'm
other.
pretty sure SMU play. I'm pretty sure
Nope,
they don't play anyone. Okay.
nope. I don't. Nope. Yeah, none of these teams play each other.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
Georgia Tech plays Pittsburgh.
Okay. This next week. Okay.
So
Interesting.
Pittsburgh.
So wait,
So really, it's between
that
Pittsburgh, Virginia,
knocks
and Georgia Tech.
so
SMU can't. I don't
Georgia
think.
Tech's
I don't really
so
think there's.
Georgia Tech's last conference game is against Pittsburgh. If they win, they're in the conference championship. If they lose, they're out
Yeah.
because
So
they
it
play Georgia last
really
week of the season.
Virginia feels like a lock right now, unless
Yeah, because they're playing
they
Tech.
choke
Tech is
against
not.
Virginia Tech.
Yeah.
So Virginia feels like a lock. So and
So it's
SMU can't really play in because they don't play anybody in the conference.
yeah.
Because
So it's what? Yeah, they
Pittsburgh,
do.
well, they don't play. I guess Pittsburgh could lose to
They don't
Miami.
have they don't have a common opponent.
So SMU, the best case scenario for SMU would be for Pittsburgh to beat Georgia Tech and then for Pittsburgh to lose to Miami, I think.
Yeah, I still would say it's gonna be probably Virginia, almost for sure. And then if
Yeah,
I
I
had to
think
bet on
Virginia
it,
is a lock. Virginia is a lock.
if I
I'm saying like there's no way Virginia is knocked out unless they lose to Virginia Tech. But I'm saying SMU's best chance is for Pittsburgh to beat Georgia Tech and then lose to Miami.
yeah,
Because
because they beat Miami
SMU doesn't
and they
play any of these teams. So they're
yeah, and
basically
they beat Miami too, so that would give them the
yeah.
edge over Pittsburgh in that scenario, anyways. Yeah,
So
I don't
it's
know. It's wide
Virginia
open.
versus whoever handles business in the ACC conference championship. It looks like.
Who would be your G5 school to get? Do you think that there should be a G5 school in every single year?
No, but there's gonna be. It's just how it's gotta be. But I don't think a G5 school is gonna be competitive. Uh, they're never gonna be a competitive.
Yeah, because
So
like if you think about it, what the best G5 schools got taken by these bigger conferences like Cincinnati, UCF, they're in the Big 12 now.
well, think about it like
So
this.
like
I know USF isn't really playing for it anymore. They got knocked out, I feel like, but um, they were a team that's been in the running the whole year, and they beat they had a really good win against Florida at the beginning of the season,
But Florida's 3 and
but
7.
Florida's not a great team. And then
Yeah,
they lost to Miami, who's kind of they're a good team, but they've kind of choked it away. So I mean, when you think
they
about
got
it like
blown
that,
out by Miami.
and then they got beat by Navy, and so it's just like I don't know. A lot of these teams in the G5 that are competing, they just don't they don't have a chance.
Yeah,
They don't,
I agree.
and they never will. A G5 team is never going to win the national championship in the playoffs. It's not going to happen. Um, this isn't like basketball where really any team technically could win. Even in basketball, it's most likely not going to be some no name school. Uh, but like, there's just so much less of a chance because football is so much different. There's so much more money at these big schools. There's so many better rosters at these big schools. It's
And
just the
guess who they're
cards are not
taking
in
their
the favor
players
for the
from?
G5.
They're taking their players from the G5 schools too.
Yeah,
Like these big schools are. So it's going to be hard pressed
I
to
just
rebuild your roster every year and be competitive at a high level because your players are leaving.
I just really think that instead of giving a guaranteed spot to the G5 teams, I really think they should just have a championship for the G5 teams. And I
I
know
think it would sell. I think it would sell. I think ESPN would love that, and I think it would make them a lot of money, and it would be a lot of fun, and
well, and
I'd
then
watch it.
they're
Oh,
playing for something. They're playing for
it would
something
be
that they can
awesome.
actually win. Basically, what it is now is they're playing to get into the playoffs, and that's their national championship. They get in the playoffs, they're like, oh, we're the best G5 team, and it's kind of going back to um, where it was all voted on. Like, so like they're still getting their national championship because they're like, we made the playoffs, but it's like it's not like necessarily they're playing the other G5 teams going for it. Sometimes in some cases they might be, but it's going to be like a thing where it's like they're voting it in. So that's their national championship, but it's like they just got voted in for it. So I think it'd be
Yeah,
better to have like maybe a 4 team playoff or like a 16 I don't know how many team playoff, but like have the G5 teams play for the G5 national championship. I think
that would
that would
be
just
awesome.
it'd be fun to watch. It gets rid of that taking away that playoff spot from the actual playoff, and it's just a completely different level of football. They're they're better than the FCS, but they're not gonna ever compete for a national championship. Um,
I agree. I think something probably needs to be done on that. I like giving everyone a fair shake at it, just because it gives the G5 something to play for. But I do agree with you. I just think it's a little bit silly at this point that we're still trying to force this issue. Um, I mean, of course, the playoff has only been around for 2 years, but this has been something that's been talked about ever since the 14 playoff was started.
it'd be funny if
But
college
yeah,
football had like their own version of the NIT, where
that'd be awesome.
instead of bowl
That
games,
would be
they just
awesome.
have a secondary
I think
playoff
that'd be
against
way more fun
against
than bowl games.
all of the best like bowl teams. So like Tennessee's
I
playing
I
in the
used to yeah.
secondary playoff, all of the G5 teams are playing in this like secondary playoff. That'd be so much more
I
fun.
I used to love I used to love watching bowl games at the end of the season, but they've lost all their meaning just because of the transfer portal rules and all that. The rosters are so depleted that it just doesn't matter anymore. It
A,
just
s-
doesn't. You can't like
a s-
Tennessee's bowl game is not going to matter.
a secondary playoff would make so much money too.
Yeah.
Uh I don't know.
That's
I don't think they'll ever do that, but that'd be cool. I would love that. That would make it a little bit like you would still want to make the playoff and it wouldn't be as good making the whatever the secondary playoff would be called, but it'd be cool and like it's something else to play for and you're not just playing for a
yeah,
bowl win. And
I agree.
you could still incorporate the bowls, some of the bowls into it, but that's not that that would happen, but like if I was in charge, I would do something like that.
Levi or Lev for commissioner. Lev for college football commissioner 2026.
Tennessee wins the Natty every year, just automatically. That's my first order
But
of
yeah.
business.
But yeah, with that, we'd like to thank you all for tuning into this one. We really appreciate you all for watching this video. Please subscribe to the channel on the road to 100 subs. Check out our friends at Game Day Gospel. Go get some merch. They got a few teams to choose from. But yeah, I'm Trev. He's Lev, and this was the Trev and Lev show. Go
Peace.
balls.
Peace.